What's so funny, TSM?
Yeah, tune in with April Showers on YouTube. Talk about it, be about it. Tune in with April Showers. Hit that like, that share, subscribe. Then let's make Miss April ours. Talk about it, be about it. Tune in with April Showers. Hit that like, that share, subscribe. Then let's make Miss April ours. Talk about it, be about it. Tune in with April Showers. Hit that like, that share, subscribe. Then let's make Miss April ours. Talk about it, be about it. Tune in with April Showers. Hit that like, that share, subscribe. And let's make Miss April ours. You know that she in the better, that she in the better thing. She do a little bit of everything. You know that she in the better, that she in the better thing. She do a little bit of everything.
By parents. Hello, everyone. I've got Miss Together with me this evening. First, I want to thank everybody. I had 29,000 views in the past 28 days. I want to thank everybody that comes to my channel, respects my opinion and views. It's never personal, as I respect theirs. So, first, what I want to say, Miss Together, is I am proud of these people that are out there protesting in front of the home, and I'm going to give you the platform because you know all of the juicy details since it's out there in California. But these two guys, as everybody know, there was a tape leaked where they were making racist remarks. So they are calling for these two people to be removed from the city councilman. They are councilmen. Right. So you can go ahead. I'm gonna mute my mic, and we can wait a few minutes for some people to come in. You know, I'm like the local news over here. I want to keep my audience informed of everything that's going on. And again, like I say, I commend those protesters. Some of them, as I was reading and looking at the clips from the news from Los Angeles, California, they are regular protesters, and also some of them are from Black Lives Matter. So thank goodness people are out there, and I commend them. So could you give the audience a history of what's going on?
Okay, so what happened was, and I'm gonna say a lot before I get to that point. Well, to me, I feel like this is something that has been long going on, and I want to know how many other tapes are there where they were using racist comments against, African Americans. So, one of the things that bothered me the most is that you know, it seems like it's a direct hatred towards African Americans. And one of the things that bother me with African American people, black people, whatever you want to call yourself, it doesn't matter to me. But we tend to befriend everybody and think that everybody is our friend. But we're not looking at the big picture. The big picture is that a lot of people that want to be our friends from different races and different cultures, they're befriending us because they want something that we have. They want to get a footstool over us, and we're too silly to see it. And so now it's like a lot of people are coming out recognizing the same thing that I have been saying for 10 plus years. And I've been like screaming out and hollering. And so I've actually lost a lot of friends behind me voicing my opinion on what I felt was wrong and injustice to the African American community. So, what happens is a lot of Latino people get into jobs. We help them get into positions. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're getting fired and you're not understanding why you're getting fired, because what happens is once they get into various positions, then they want to lock everybody else out, and they just want their own people. And this is not a video of hatred. This is a video to say, open up your eyes, everybody. Keep your eyes open, because every time somebody new comes into America, we get pushed to the back of the bus. And my dad used to tell me all the time, look, every time you see a new race of people, look at black people, they get pushed further and further and further away. And so one of the things that's happening is Deleon, Martinez, Naturi Martinez, Cedillo, and Herrera, they're all a part of Los Angeles City Council. And so they were caught using racist comments, pertaining to a young black child. Also, the LBGTQ plus community is out there because the guy, Bonin, is a gay, Caucasian male. So of course they said things against them. They said some things against some Latinos. They said a lot against Jewish, and they said a lot of things against like the Asians and the Armenians. I mean, they just went down the line of being disrespectful. But this is nothing new, because I've been telling people for years that, even with them being in office, there are a lot of programs and a lot of housing programs that have been set up, and it was supposed to be for everyone, anybody that is an American citizen that has faced a hard time. But what we have been noticing, and we've been talking about it, but everybody wanted to push it under the rug. Now they're getting an understanding of what we have been saying for such a long time, because now a lot of people are speaking out, saying the same thing that I've been saying for many years, that all these programs, all these illegal immigrants and Latino descents are in these low income housing. They're in Section 8, low income housing. They're the ones that's getting all the when you have like transitional living and things of that nature, they're getting all the beds. And so the black people are steadily being pushed out, pushed into the streets, and people have been crying, but nobody wants to listen. They have one black guy so far that's on the city council, and they were trying to push him out as well. So I don't know how many tapes. They need to go back into their history and see how many tapes have, there are like this, because Deleon Deleon made a comment when there were black people protesting, and now the neighbors are saying that they're not 100% sure that Deleon lives in that area. So they may be protesting in the wrong area. But he made the comment, oh, it's only 25 black people yelling. That's still being disrespectful. Are they not going to get it? It needs to be something more done. Nuri Martinez, just because she stepped down as president. No, she needs to be fired. She needs to have that position taken from her. Cedillo needs to be fired. Why are you guys giving him until Thursday so that he can continue to get paid off of taxpayers' dollars? No, fire him so that he won't be able to get any money. You're trying to wait until these people resign so they could continue to get benefits. No, they should not be allowed to get any benefits, because had that been an African American woman that said that a little Caucasian or Latino child needs to go and get a beat down, they will be calling CPS right now. They will be at our houses if we have children, and they will be investigating our children to see if there's any type of abuse. What makes it different that she can say this and walk away scot-free? And I heard another lady say that if they turn around and say, I'm sorry, and Black people forgive them, anything that comes after that, we deserve any other type of disrespect that there is out there, because I do not accept any apology. I will not accept any apology from them. And I'm not going to do the kumbaya where they say, oh, I'm so sorry. Can we? No, we're not going to work it out, because you have been systematically kicking Black people down, stepping on their heads. You just talk trash about the other races, but you have been intentionally hurting Black people. You have intentionally been hurting them, and you don't care. And Deleon, he is so arrogant. That's what I'm saying. This man is so arrogant that he can sit up here and make a comment talking about there's only 25 Black people yelling. It doesn't matter if it's 25. More people need to get out. You might be out there partying, drinking, smoke. Well, party, drink, and smoke your weed out there and protest, because nothing is going to change. It's only a few of us out there right now, but we need more Black people out there representing to let them know no. And then they had some Hispanic guy talking about, oh, I never known Deleon to have a prejudiced bone in his body. Well, you heard what he said on the tape, so does that not surprise you now? Okay, if you didn't know him that way, now you know him because you heard his voice on there systematically kicking Black people out of areas. Let me see, Los Angeles, what they say about 3 to 6 million people, and the Latinos make up more than 40 to 50% of that, and the other percentages are like other races. But you see, they're growing so fast at a rapid pace. They're coming into different communities and I don't give like all kinds of props to Donald Trump. Some of the stuff that he said, he could have said it with a different tongue. He could have been a lot more respectful with the stuff that he said about, different races of people. But, he's bold. He's a bold individual. He's going to say exactly what he say, and he's going to mean exactly what he say. But when it came to, and what people don't know, we're not getting the good illegal immigrants that's coming from family members and homes that are well established. We're getting the criminals. They're dumping the criminals over here, and in Mexico, and then from Mexico they don't want them, so then they make their way through the border to America. We're getting all the criminals. Why do you think that the crime rate, especially in California, the crime rate is out of this world? Like East Los Angeles, it used to be all Black. The city, Pasadena and Altadena, Whittier, East LA, Highland Park, Compton, Long Beach, Torrance, all those different places used to be all Black. Riverside, Rialto, all those places used to be Black people living in those areas. And those individuals came in and they started, fighting with the Black people, making it difficult. And, one Black family moved to Boyle, what was it? I think it was Boyle Heights or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but they were a respectful family. They didn't bother anybody. They came and go. They left. They minded their business. And one night they were asleep. So a group of Mexicans took and threw a Molotov cocktail at the house for no reason. And I just don't get it. Hi, Albert. How you doing? And I don't get it. Why is it that there's such a great divide? And so at one point, they were trying to get the blacks and the Latinos to work together, but then you get these individuals in office and they purposely, like they said, they purposely created division. And this is the problem that we're facing. They're purposely creating division amongst the people. Stopping by, showing support. Hi. They purposely are creating division out here, and it's really sad and it's really unfortunate because, like, we as black people, we don't really bother anybody. But one guy was sitting down and I was having a conversation with him, and I'm like, what's wrong with him? He had this funk about him, and I was like, what's wrong with him? And then we were like talking, and then he started talking about, oh, black people did this and black people did that. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, wait, whoa. What is your problem with me as a black person? I said, I came in here and I greeted you. And all of a sudden you start talking hate about black people. I don't get this. What's wrong with you? And so I'm like, this is crazy. And he was a Hispanic guy. And I'm like, I didn't even do nothing to him. And he just went ape boo boo crazy. And so, every time I would see him, he would have something, crazy to say. So I went to my supervisor and I said, I don't know what this guy. And then someone said, oh, he prejudiced. He don't like black people. Okay. If he doesn't like black people, then he doesn't need to have this position. He needs to not be in this line of work because there are plenty of black people that need assistance from us. There are plenty of Latino people that need assistance from me, and I don't discriminate when somebody needs something. If they need it, I'm going to try to make sure I get it to them. That is my job. Regardless of how I feel about you, my job is to do my job. But Deleon, Martinez, Cedillo, and Herrera did not do that. They did not do that at all. What they did was create a great divide. So now it's like they stated in their audio that they were going to make sure that nobody else was able to get into the LA City Council. They were going to lock everybody out. And that was very hateful, to say something like that, because everything, like, let me explain. I don't know what it's like in your state, but in California, it's really, really super crazy. If you are hired, you have better chances of being hired by a Caucasian than to be hired by a Latino. And what's so crazy is a black person could own a business and they will hire a Latino. But if a Latino has a business, they don't want to hire a black person. And that's what's so, like, really disheartening about it, And then, they want to say that.
Well, first of all, when they're hiring somebody for a job, what businesses and stuff they have really shouldn't be their business. That shouldn't even be displayed at the interview, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, there are a lot of people, like, when they have a lot of black owned businesses in certain areas, and when you go in, you'll see a lot of Hispanics in there. Black people are friends with Hispanics, but at the same time, when you turn around, you'll go and you'll see black people trying to get a job at it's not even necessarily a Hispanic store. It could be a chain of stores, and you'll go in and you want to get hired and they won't hire you, but then they want you to hire them at your stores. And if you have a chain and there's no Hispanics in there, they could say that you're being prejudiced, but it's not that you're being prejudiced, because what's happening in California is, if you hire, like with my job, I'm not going to say exactly what it is. At my job had a rainbow of people. We had blacks, we had Latinos, we had people that spoke Farsi. I don't know exactly what nationality that is. We had Indians, we had Africans, we had Japanese, we had Chinese, we had the rainbow of everybody. So one of the supervisors was leaving, and so they ended up giving the position to a Latino girl that was there for a long time, and she did know her stuff. But then you started noticing, like, wait a minute, where's this person? Wait a minute, where's that person? wait a minute, because I was in the field a lot, and like sometimes I'll be like, I'll go out in the field, I would check in because I'll be out in the field for days, and I'll come back, another person that's gone, and I'm like, and then one day I turned around 6 7 months later, it was like me and two other black women, and the rest of them were Latino, and so they wanted my position because I was really good at it. And so they wanted me to train somebody, and I, you know me, I pray, I believe in a higher power, like Miss April says. And the feeling that came back was they're trying to get you to train that person and give them all your secrets so they can get rid of you. I'm not training anybody, because first of all, you're not paying me to be a trainer, and second of all, I don't know, I'm not going to do it. So one day I went out and I met with a client, and because the program, they wanted more funding, my supervisor told me to add more time. I said, but that's stealing. She said, it's okay, I'll back you up. And I'm like, are you sure? And I put it in my email, and I emailed her. I said, are you sure you want me to add more time to this? And I didn't actually use that time. And she said, yes. I said, okay. And so what happened was they end up locking me out of my email. And at first I had the feeling, send that email to your regular email address, but I was in such a rush, I didn't. And they locked me out of my email, so I couldn't retrieve the email that where she stated that she wanted me to add more time, even though I didn't. And it was so cold-blooded because she had access to lock me out. It was so cold-blooded. And then they were saying that I was doing inappropriate things. But every time they were saying that I was doing inappropriate things, I always had students with me. And I'm like, wait a minute. And, like I said before, based on the amount of complaints, even though the guy knew, he was like, just because the complaint.
Hold on for a minute. Hey, Chuck, can you hear us now?
Oh, I didn't even know he was in here. Hey, Chuck.
Okay, we hearing some static now.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, so they used that against you.
Yeah, they used that against me. And it was, remember, I'm like, because they couldn't fire the other two. The other two were like doctors, and they had high positions, so you couldn't fire them. But I was just I had a position, but I wasn't up there with them. So they kept like sending me to corporate over and over, and the guy was like, we keep getting these reports, but every time they say something, you always have somebody with you that says that you didn't do it. But they would never call the person in when I was around. They would call them and ask them. They were like, no, she didn't do anything. And I don't understand why they keep like saying that she's doing stuff. And she's really good at what she's showing me. And and it was just crazy. So based on all those going back and forth, getting accused of stuff, they let me go. And the guy really didn't want to, but that's the policy. If you go into corporate office on complaints more than 3 times, they're going to have to let you go. So later on, I still got the letter. They sent me a letter like a couple years later saying they could not find any reason or any evidence to prove that I did anything inappropriate. But I'm like, this is crazy. And now I went back over there to my old job just to look. The whole entire building is nothing but Latinos. They have a way of working you out of there if you are not their own race. And I don't think that that's fair, because a lot of programs that I was getting them funded for, instead of them giving it to like an Asian person that needed it, a Caucasian person, it could have been anybody besides, just all Black. They were just giving it to all the illegal immigrants that was coming across the border, spoke no English. And like I said before, it was one woman, nobody knew where she came from, because every time you turn around, she was changing, where she came from in Central America.
I'm going to have to go out and come right back in.
Okay, yeah. she was always changing where she came from. And I'm like, wait a minute, this lady changed where she came from like 7 different times. What's really going on? And when I started questioning, it wasn't in a disrespectful manner, and I started looking like, wait a minute, how come these houses are being filled up with nothing but Latino people? What about the other people that qualify? What about the other people that I got approved? And so it just work. That's just how it happens. I don't know about where you guys are from, but that's the way it happens out here in California. If you work in
Well, that happens on any job. When somebody gets into a management position, they're going to bring their people in.
Hi, Cher.
Hey, Cher, whether they be black, white, or whatever, they're going to bring their they're going to bring in people that they know.
Right,
Unfortunately, our race, we don't do that.
right,
But that's what they do. When anybody, I mean, they're in a position to help their family and friends, and that's what they're going to do.
right.
And then, like I said, they wanted you removed because she probably had a friend
She did. Her daughter.
that
Her daughter.
she wanted to put in that job.
Her
And
daughter.
so, hey, Slay, and hey, Pan, and family time with Audretta and Albert. But that's what I tell people when you have some people that are doxing people from YouTube and you call their jobs. You don't know these people can use that phone call to get rid of people because a lot of times they're just sitting waiting on them to make a mistake or get a complaint, and boom, they fired them.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And it's
they
ridiculous.
fired them.
It's really ridiculous how it is. Like I said, back to the council members. And like I was saying earlier, he's very arrogant and he was very boastful. I really don't think that they should give him an opportunity to resign. He needs to be fired. And that's what the people are saying, because my sister is down in Los Angeles right now, and she said that they're honking their horns. It's just real noisy. And she's saying they want him fired. They don't want him to resign. They want him fired. Because why should he still be why should he be why should he be able to resign? Because if he if he resigns, that means whatever pension plan he gets, has whatever he has, taxpayers are still going to be paying that to fund his lifestyle. He needs to be fired because when you get fired, you don't get no out here in California. When you get fired for a bad reason, you don't get unemployment. They just don't give it to you because
Nor your pension. Nor
right.
your pension.
Right. So he needs to be fired.
Hey, Chuck, are you able, Chuck?
Why can't hear me?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
hear you.
we can hear you now.
And
Okay, so that happens in a lot of cities. Like even here in Chicago and even here in Joliet. They won't fire people. They will allow them to resign so they still can get their pension. So
right.
that's just not a California thing. But I commend them for protesting. And see, this is what we have to do. We have to start getting the local officials, the bad ones, out of the way.
Right.
But unfortunately, like even here in Joliet, when the mayor assaulted 2 teenagers, we protested. They were calling for him to resign, but the city council, they had to vote for the mayor to be resigned, and a lot of them did not vote. Vote for him to be removed. And so, they knew what he did was wrong, but unfortunately in politics is, everybody calls in favors and everybody they hold each other's hands, and they're able to say, well, I'm not gonna vote for him to be fired, him or she, whoever it may be, or he, she nowadays, but they will be like, well, they did this favor, they helped me, they got me money, so they will not fire these people. So, as Cheryl Slave mentioned, the favoritism is out of hand. And a lot of these positions, even though they heard those people on those tape delete recording making racist remarks about every race, some of those people will not vote for them to be fired because they have done some type of favor for them. That's the way politics goes.
I don't think those people give a damn out here. I really don't,
Oh, the
because
Jones said they all work for the same people. And
they're
that's about it.
they're asking
Yeah.
for them to be fired because people are saying they do not want them to be able to resign. And see, Nuri Martinez thinks she's smart because she only resigned. She thought people were dumb. She thought that nobody caught on to it. And even the Latino people are like, no, you don't just resign from the president, you get fired. You need to be out. Even Latino people are speaking up, but you know what? I'm sorry, and I'm not, like I said, my disclaimer, I am not prejudiced and I'm not trying to sound like it, but those Latinos are out there protesting because they got an agenda too. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody that wants to join in with us and kumbaya, they all got an agenda too. They want something out of it as well. And so my thing is, we're out there protesting against them and they got a full mariachi band. I would have been like, excuse me, this ain't the time for this bullshit. Put that shit away and start marching and talking. I don't want to hear that music. I don't want to hear that. This is not the time for that. And that's the part that ticks me off, is because they slide in there with their little bull crap agenda and people are not paying attention. And like I said, that guy talking about, I never heard Deleon say anything prejudiced. Well, you heard it on the tape. So damn, there you go. Don't tell me you never heard them when you sat there. And they asked him, did you listen to the tape? You listened to the tape, so you heard them say something prejudiced. Let's stop caping for these people. Let's stop throwing stuff up under the rug. We need to cut it out. Everybody sit up here worry about what T.I. doing and what Charleston White is doing. They sit up here worrying about cheeks being clapped and all this other stuff when we got deeper issues going on. We got issues where we got a race of people that's coming over here just as bad as the damn white supremacists are. And we're sitting here like, oh, we all they got to do is say we forgive you. No, you don't know. Because if we let this slide, it's going to get worse and ain't nobody else going to respect us. You got the Asians disrespecting us. You got the Armenians disrespecting. You got just about every race that'll come over here and call us a straight up nigga in our face. And then all they got to do is say, I'm sorry, and shed a few little tears. And guess what? We are back. Oh, we love you. We kumbaya. No. Kumbaya, why they got a big old dagger in our back. And this right here is a direct message to us as Black people. We need to stop telling everybody they're our family. I just sat here and I watched it. And like I told Miss April, I lost a lot of friends. I said, everybody want to be Black when it comes to getting into the music industry. Once they get into it, like Cardi B yelled and screamed that she was Black. Nicki Minaj yelled that she was Black. All of a sudden now y'all want to holler y'all Dominican. Everybody want to say, oh, no, I'm Dominican. I'm this, I'm that. But when you was trying to get into our music and get into our life and our culture and be accepted in our culture, you claim that you are one of us. And now that you got a footstool in and you where you want to be, now you not Black no more. Now you Dominican. Now you Puerto Rican. Now you this. Now you that. When are we going to get the message? These folks is just using us. They use us to get where they want to go. And once they get where they go, they just step on our head and crush our backs. And we sit there looking like dummies, dusting ourselves out. I'm not saying be hateful, but we need to start keeping our eyes open.
Well, the thing of it is, we're not unified. We're
And
not
that's
we're
the
not
problem.
unified. Like they're protesting, but it seems like you say all of the Latinos, well, where are the black people? Well, really, all races should be out there protesting for them to be removed if they talked about all races.
No, we got
All of
blacks out there. We got blacks out there, but I'm just saying that every time there's something going on that happens within the black community, they jump in because they have a hidden agenda. They always have a hidden
okay,
agenda.
Odom's Homestead said, I think it's just a cover up for something else. It always be a target on us. Well,
Exactly.
we're gonna always be targets because we're not unified. We too busy worrying about what religion people are and all of this stuff. We're not going to come together because we're worrying about what somebody did 20 years ago. So our whole mindset is wrong. Like,
Not only
and
that,
so
it's the people they put in
until the mindset changes and we get more unified, then we can fight. But we're not unified. That's nobody's fault. That's just our racist fault. You know, we're worrying about the wrong things. And
right.
they're going to continue. They're going to continue with this because we're not unified. That's our fault. That's not their fault. That's our fault.
But
And so,
it also goes back to the leaders that we actually vote in as a representation for us. And what happens is a lot of times, like my family said, you get a black person that is getting in office, and then all of a sudden somebody run and say, hey, I'll give you this amount of money if you like drop that and then do something different and da 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 da. And that's what happens a lot with us. They'll take the money and they'll still do something for their community, but we get those people that will get in office and like they'll say, I'll give you like $6 million if you stop doing what you was doing, stop this and stop that. And some people will say no and some will say yeah, but we most likely always get the ones that will be the cutthroats, the ones that'll stab us in the back. And then we thinking that we got unity and they're just hold on, we working it out. Meanwhile, they getting their palms greased and we sitting there looking stupid.
no, because the people we put in office end up stealing. Hold on. Hey, Chuck.
Hello.
Hey, you want to give your opinion on this?
She was talking, so I didn't want to cut her off. I mean, I was just
Oh,
listening.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she's right. I mean, people. The only way to get these people out of office is we got to start protesting and marching and vote, like she said.
And then
A person,
we got to go to the city council meeting.
but
We just have to be more involved.
the only way somebody is removed, April, is the city council has to vote. The city council and the aldermen have to vote. If they don't vote, that person is not going to go anywhere. That's the same thing that happened in Joliet. It may be different in other states, but the city councilmen and women, they have to vote. And she's right
Right.
about
And,
everything that
and,
she.
and like you said, a lot of these people, they owe somebody a favor. They're going to remember that favor. So they're not going to vote that person out. I mean, this has been going on, for a long time. This just didn't start with these people. I
No,
mean,
the favors don't mean
our
anything.
elected officials, when they get in trouble, and we want these people to be removed from office, a lot of the city council people, a lot of the aldermen, they are not going to open their mouths for these people to be fired because either their hands are dirty or they have done a favor for them.
So
That's
let me
just the
ask.
way it is.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Why is it that Eddie Johnson is no longer the superintendent of the Chicago Police Department? He wasn't
Well,
fired.
they finally fired him.
Right. But he was also voted out, which what I'm trying to explain
No,
to you.
the mayor fired him when it came out with the drunk, when he was in that car drunk.
Right.
But he had did other things. He had did other things before that, and she didn't fire him.
But the city councilman and the alderman had meetings to get him out of office. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. They had meetings to vote him out.
And
before that
they
happened.
did not remove him because Eddie Johnson probably had dirt on them.
He had other allegations. If you let me talk, he had other allegations against him. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. He had other allegations against him. They had meetings. They had meetings to vote him out before Lori Lightfoot ended up firing him. That's all I'm saying. So what Together is saying is absolutely correct. We have to get these people out of office. That's the only thing. That's the only way to
get them out of office. We know that. We're saying the same thing, but I'm saying we're not going to be able to get them out of office long as half of these people are dirty and crooked too.
April, you cutting me off. You're not letting me explain what I'm trying to tell you. All I'm saying, I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm saying is which she explained already in the state of California. The laws are different. But what I'm saying is people have to vote. That's all I'm saying. I'm not in disagreement with anything that you said or what she said.
We know they have to vote, Chuck. We know this. But far as even like with Eddie Johnson, all of the stuff he did. I mean, look at Kim Fox. All of the things that she did, she should have been removed from office.
Like I said, because people don't want to vote her out. She has to be voted out, April.
I know. We know that. So why aren't the people voting her out, Chuck? Why aren't they voting?
April. You just can't walk in the office and say, oh, you no longer have a job. There's a process that goes along with that. That's all I'm saying. Okay,
so why isn't the process done, and why aren't the city council and aldermen, why aren't they voting them out?
Because people are paying them under the table. It's all of politics. It's all about money, April. It's money.
I know. That's what I said. That's what I said.
April, you're not letting me finish. You're cutting me off. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna get off. Cause I can't go through this. So I'm gonna get off.
I'm muting my mic.
No, you constantly cutting me off.
Go ahead and talk.
I'm gonna get off. No, I'm gonna get off the mic.
No, I muted my mic. My mic is muted. Talk.
Oh, he left. Oh, but I wanted to say real quick. I'm sorry you left, Chuck. But I wanted to say.
I don't know why he left, but I was just rebutting to what he was saying. We're saying the same thing. That politics are dirty. Like here in Chicago, we have Kim Fox that should have been out of office. What I'm saying is exactly the same thing he's saying.
Right.
They're not going to vote these people out because people have paid them not to vote them out, or their hands are dirty too.
But in this case, it's different from what you're saying. I'm not angry at Chuck.
I was asking him, why isn't the process? And he was saying voting. No, if any of those elected officials, if they have done something that's wrong, right now, in Joliet, when they wanted that mayor to be removed, they had a special meeting. They voted. The city council did not vote for him to be removed as the mayor. They voted. Same way in Chicago. Kim Foster did everything. I mean, she didn't get into it with the police. I mean, everything. She's done a whole lot of shady stuff. They ain't called for her resignation. It's all their hands are dirty. And they keep keeping us divided. I'm not angry at Chuck. I mean, we were saying the same thing. I was just, when he was saying voting, they had to vote and then the alderman. I was just making a point of, okay, so why, if we had to vote, why don't the aldermen? Because they're all crooked. Some of them have been paid. We're saying the same thing.
Right, but they have three different charges in order to get them out. They have to prove bribery. They have to prove some sort of treason or some other type of crime.
Girl, the evidence can be right there.
But it has to be all three is what they're trying to say in the paperwork. But I get what you're saying. I think what he is trying to get you to see is you're right, but there are other things that have to take place before they actually can get a person out of office. You can't just walk in and
they bring the charges. They bring the charges against them. They show the evidence, and people are still not going to vote them out.
Yeah, but with the guy in California out here, the dude Bonin, the one with the black little boy, he's a part of the council. He said he wanted all three of them fired. So because he spoke, we're going to see what happens, because he wants them out of office. And with the situation you guys are talking about, I don't know anything about that individual. But yeah, like you said,
it doesn't matter what state, from California to Illinois to Texas. When they bring these charges against any of these elected officials, when they bring the charges against them and all of the evidence, and when it comes time for the city council or alderman, whatever the chain of command is in whatever state, some of these people are not going to vote them out. The evidence will be right there. And they still will not remove them from office. Even if you vote for them, most of the time they keep them crooks in office, is all I'm saying. And they've been keeping crooks in office with the evidence.
For years. With
the evidence.
For years.
The alderman, the city council, it'll be a split vote or one person, because all of their hands are dirty. They're dirty.
Yeah, like out here, we was trying to get
rid of. They're not going. It might be hard. They're calling for those people to be fired and all of that, but the council people, they've got to vote on it.
Well, whatever happened the day that Deleon actually showed up, he showed up, and the head guy that's over Deleon, for some reason, Deleon abruptly left. He left like really quick, got in his car and drove off. I don't know what he said to him, but he hasn't been back since. So I don't know what he said that day, because those people would not shut up. They would not allow the meeting to go forward. So they're packing out city council and they're yelling and screaming. And some people are locked out because it's full to capacity, because they're still worried about the COVID situation. But these folks are not giving up. They are camping out in front of City Hall. They're not playing with this situation. They are not playing it. It's more black people, and the guys, the cameramen, are putting the cameras in front of black people's face, and they're from unions and things like that. And they're like, we want them fired. And it's like a lot of powerhouses are coming out. They're not playing. So we're just waiting to see. And the black people are like, we're not going to give up. We want all four of them out of here, period. Get them out of here. We're not having it because they said. Then they're going to investigate to see if there are more tapes, which I'm sure there are a lot more damning tapes that have been out there that they're probably not, because there was some more information leaked, and it gets worse and worse and worse. But
okay, worse how? I mean, do they have proof? Like they didn't give blacks any contracts? Well, that's what I'm saying. But the whole stuff, it don't matter how much them people out there protesting, how much them cameras are in their faces. That don't matter. What matters is the people that have to vote them out. Are they going to vote them out of office at the end of the day?
Everybody said they're voting them out.
Well, then y'all will see. I hope they do. I hope they do. But, you know, all of these crooks, a lot of them, they haven't been voted out. But I hope they vote them out. I hope ain't nobody, you know, hands dirty with them where they say, you better not vote me out or I'm going to tell what you're doing.
At this point, I don't think they give a damn if they tell what somebody did. Them folks want them out of there, because the stuff they were doing was so horrific. Like, how do you take money that was allocated for one group and give it to your group, and then you're purposely trying to get black people fired, and then you're gonna say F some dude because he's with the blacks? And I mean, it's like it's all on there. So now it's like, how many more tapes are there? So it's a lot of stuff that are on tapes that they're not releasing, and I can't wait to hear the rest of it, because whatever it is, it got even the city council big bosses. They're like, even the governor and the mayors and all them, they want them out. It's more than, because this one lady said she got a chance to sit down and listen, and she said she was so horrified, but they haven't released the rest of the stuff. She said she was so horrified with the stuff that's on the tape. They didn't release everything to the public, just the itty bitty stuff. But she says it gets way worse than that when it comes to them talking about black people. I was like, wow.
Again, hey, Raider Cab, again, as DJ Chuck was trying to say, that they have to be voted. Only thing I'm saying is, when it come time to vote them people out, they can have all of the evidence and everything, and it's a 50-50 chance that they're going to vote them out. Well, yeah. They will have all of the evidence. Some people will be sitting there listening. And hey, Raider Kev, I mean, we've seen it time and time. I mean, when Kavanaugh was going for the Supreme Court justice, you had all of these women coming out saying how he had abused them and stuff. And they still appointed him to the Supreme Court.
Well, now they got this damn Me Too movement. It's not so easy now. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Like they said, if R. Kelly and them went through it, then their asses should go through it too.
Yeah, if it was a fair world, welcome to the real world. You know, welcome to the real world. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad they're out there protesting. I am.
But this is a protest that I've never seen. This is a protest I've never seen before. This one, they're literally camped out, and I've never seen a protest where people are literally, and the house that they said was the house that they said was Kevin Deleon's, Miss April. They put a porta potty in front of his house so they can go use the bathroom.
Yeah, we did the same thing. Yeah, hey Ruthie, We did the same thing in Joliet. They were protesting in front of that mayor's house.
Mm-hmm.
In front of his house. They protested. They did everything. The evidence, they showed him what he did was wrong. They did not vote for this man to be removed. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
But see,
he
that
was
has
wrong.
something to do with the people too, because like I said,
No, it
if
don't have nothing to do with the people. It's got something to do with these crooked council people and
Miss
aldermen.
Miss April, if these people say, I'm not gonna let up until you guys get rid of them, and you're supposed to have meetings and I'm disrupting everything, I'm road blocking all the streets and the police are not helping the city council unblock the streets. They're blocking the streets where people can't even drive. These folks mean business. They're not playing, and they're in there shouting and screaming and yelling and hollering. And the top councilman guy, he couldn't even talk, and they were like, please, please. So they had to get bonding in order to calm everybody down. But even after that, they're still doing the same thing. And you can't lock the people out, because then you have those radicals that will try to tear shit down, So I hope it works. I hope nobody sleeps on this. That's what it boils down to. If these people are going to sleep on it, if they're going to, because you can put so much pressure on somebody, you can get them out of office, especially when it comes to people. If they start messing with your numbers and you think you're about to run, well, if you don't get him out, I'm not voting for your butt. So there's always a way around it. There's always a way around it. And I get what you're saying. I'm not discounting.
McDonald,
Huh?
the cop that shot him, they found him guilty. He was a kid that was shot over 50, 60 times. They did not even find the sergeant, the captain of the police department, where they went in, fudged up the reports. Those guys were found not guilty.
That's crazy.
It's
Well, something else has gotta give, like serious business. We all gotta get together and figure out what is it. How do we get these folks out of office? Because we didn't. There needs to be a limit on how long somebody can be in office. First of all, you got people that's been in office too damn long, and ain't nobody else coming up with new ideas and how to move about and do certain things. So they need to get rid of some of these damn bozos.
and this is in every state, every city, in the whole entire United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
These elected officials,
Where's
from
Chuck?
the mayor to the city councilman, all of these people can commit crimes, steal money, do whatever. When we, the people, ask for these people to be removed from office, they still have to vote. And when they vote, it's a 50-50 chance that these people might be removed. I don't care if they got video evidence, if it's right there all in their face. Some of these people will still vote for those people not to be removed.
Right. Well, one
I
man
mean, I hope
watches
something
another.
happens. I mean, I will still get out and protest. I mean, what the mayor did was wrong. What some of these officials have done is wrong. People can take the right steps, bring the charges against them, but politics, all of these politicians are crooked.
Yep. Real
They're
talk.
crooked. They're crooked. They call in favors during this time. So whoever has to vote them out, we hope that their hands are not dirty. We hope they don't take any money from anybody to get those people out of office. Now, making racist remarks, but now they've got to bring the proof. They've made racist remarks, but do they have the proof that, they didn't give contracts to blacks, Latinos? Do we have the proof? Because here in Chicago, they finally got rid of an alderman. He's been alderman for 30 years. Hey, they were getting paid. They were giving their people the contract, getting money under the table.
Yeah, that's one of the things on the tape. They were saying that they were taking those monies. They're out of their own mouths. They were saying that they were doing it. So this is not something that somebody made up. And so now there's going to be an internal investigation and blase, and so many other things that is supposed to go on. So I just hope that they get them out. I'm always hopeful, even though things happen crazy. I'm still hopeful that it's going to turn out to be all right. I always try to look at, things on a more positive light,
Oh yeah, I look at everything from a positive light too, but I also look at things of the way it is. Hey, look at when they attacked us, his supporters attacked us.
Thanks to Maxine Waters.
They let those people go. They didn't arrest them right then. They only shot a few people down. Those people were able to go home. I mean, did they impeach Trump for his actions? I mean, that's a prime example.
You know what?
You had some Republicans, much as they hated him, they didn't vote for him to be impeached. This is America, people. This is the United States of America, people.
I'm going to leave that conversation for another time.
2 Republicans voted against him. Other than that, them Republicans still voted for him not to be impeached.
Well,
I commend those people that's out there protesting. I'm glad. I hope they get more people. I hope the people that have to vote them out of office, I pray that their hands are not dirty. I pray that they don't owe them any favors.
Right.
This is America.
United Snakes of America.
And so, and like Chuck was saying, people have to vote. But we also know, some of them people that's got to vote, shoot, an envelope gonna end up in their hand. Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
And my question to the audience and to you, are there really any honest politicians?
I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question.
Are there any honest politicians that have went in there, just did their jobs, did the right thing, not take kickbacks, not do favors where they were going to hold the favors over somebody's head. Do those politicians exist?
Don't know. It's kind of hard today to tell.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. We don't know what people doing behind closed doors. They can smile in your face, but behind your back, they got a big old dagger.
Hmm.
We just really don't know. And that's to be honest. And that's a really good question.
And see, a lot of times, most of our elected officials that we have voted in, they've done some favors, or some of them been shisty, so
Right.
they won't vote them out
Right.
because they don't want their skeletons to come out.
Yep.
So I mean, I hope that these people are removed. I hope the evidence is there.
Right.
Because just making remarks, I mean, they could send them to some type of cultural classes and stuff like that.
They don't need no culture class. They need a swift kick in the hoo-ha. It don't matter. They're not gonna. If they go, it's only because they're being forced to go. But that's like making an alcoholic go to
Hey,
Alcoholics
Raider,
Anonymous.
would you like to come up? He said, honest politicians is an oxymoron, right? I think basically you have to sell dreams and false hopes in order to be a politician. Personal opinion. And that's real talk.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And that's all they do. And so we, as Chuck was saying, we got to hold these people accountable.
Yep.
And we got to start voting. We got to vote. Because I do believe there are some people that can do the right thing. But those people that will do the right thing, they don't vote them in.
No, because they're not going to do nothing dirty. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're not going to do nothing dirty. Because if they vote the good people in and the good people don't do nothing dirty, you can't hold nothing over their head.
They ain't got nothing to hold over them. Nothing.
You can't hold nothing over their head.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, because like I said, what I've seen in Illinois is unbelievable. But yet, when election time comes around, the people still vote these crooks in office.
Yep.
Make that make sense. Where'd Chuck go? I need him to come back. I told him to come back, and I was going to be quiet.
Yeah, tell him to come back because I got to put my little fella to bed.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to shut my mouth up.
I haven't seen them typing anything in there.
DJ Chuck, hold on. Let me call him. Because Lord knows I'm not falling out with people over their opinions. And if I run off at the mouth, I am sorry. So let me call him and apologize. Hold on. And have him come back, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, I didn't see everybody coming in. Hello, lovely people. Thank you for coming in. I'm learning.
Thank you for joining us. How you doing, Raider Kev? Let me drop the link in case he wants
Yeah, come on up.
Oh, he said he's driving. Hold on.
Come on, Chuck, answer the phone.
For the phone, so I can apologize.
Please leave a message for 31241464112.
This is April Showers, your friend. We still doing the show. I'm calling you to apologize for not keeping my mouth shut, and I want you to come back, and I'm gonna mute my mic. Lord knows I ain't trying to fall out with nobody, and I apologize that I couldn't keep my mouth shut. Now, the ball's in this court. I did my part.
Right. I gotta go, Miss April. This baby's in the room having a tantrum.
So basically, they're out there in California. There was a leaked tape where the city council people, they made racist remarks. They want hold on.
You're muted.
No, I'm not muted.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
trying to, yeah.
Hold on, little
Hold on.
bitty. Give me a second. Yep. California is in an uproar right now. It's in a total uproar. Like Miss April said, we need to get out and vote. Vote with our heads and not with our heart. We don't need to be emotional when we vote. We need to like stay focused because that's what keeps getting us in trouble. We vote emotionally, and we need to start really sitting down and reading some of these propositions and see what some of these council people are really about, do some background checks on them and find out what they're about, what they like, what they dislike, what group they're really for. We need to really start doing our homework instead of looking at what somebody, because when I see these two politicians up here fighting, talking trash about each other, that's a turn off to me because I don't feel like you should have to push one under the bus just to get your point across. Tell me what you can do. Give me some facts. Tell me what you're really going to do. Show me your history about what you have done thus far to even want my vote, So that doesn't make sense to me. With all this fighting and bickering and talking trash, about one another. I never really liked that at all. I never really liked that. So that's why I don't look at the debates because I think it's really childish. In other cultures and I mean in other countries, they look at us like we're so silly. We just sit here and just trash each other for a vote. Why? Why are you trashing? Your work should speak for itself. You don't have to put somebody else down. What you do should speak for itself. What you have done in the lower level should speak for itself. Not you sitting here trashing people because you want to get the position. And then when you get the position, you don't do what you say. So we need to stop thinking emotionally. We need to stop voting for people that we like because of their skin color. We need to stop voting for them because we think that, we're going to get something out of it. We really need to do our homework. And that's why a lot of us are in trouble in these various states. We need to cut it out, you know. And the way it seems like me is if everybody's corrupt, it's going to be one big old giant ball of corruption all across the board. So I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
but I'm gonna wait a few minutes to see if he's gonna come back. But
Well, go ahead, Miss
I'm a
April.
realist.
Go ahead,
I'm a
Miss April,
realist.
because I got to get to this baby before he drive me
Okay,
crazy. Thank you for inviting
okay,
me on. Good night, everybody. Have a blessed one. No matter where you
okay,
are, be blessed, be safe, and thank you for accepting me on Mrs. April's channel. Good night, Miss April. Love you, girl.
okay. Raider Cab, you driving? You said you would love to come on. Yeah, yeah. I'm just a realist, Raider Cab. I mean, we can protest, which I've done. We can go to the meetings, be all mad and everything. But when it comes time for them people, the city council and stuff to vote, huh, that can go either way. Because like I said, here in Joliet and even in Chicago, certain things they didn't remove people from office for some of the bad things they had did. Yeah. But hopefully, if we will have some up and coming young people that will go into these offices. Oh, there we go. Come on, Chuck. I want to apologize to you for opening my mouth and not letting you speak. And I want you to come back up here because that was my fault. And I am not going to open my mouth. And I'm sorry. I apologize. I guess I got a little heated because I still get flashbacks when we shut down the intersection and everything, and they still didn't vote our mayor out. So come on up, Chuck. I got a little bit in my feelings because we did everything and they did not remove them. So I apologize. That is my error. I should have let you talk more. So I need you to come up because Together done left. You better bring your butt up here. Are you going to come up? Well, you got the link, so you can come on up. I'm gonna wait a few minutes. If not, Charlemagne the God is on Jimmy Kimmel. Charlemagne the God, him and his cousins, um, they raped a girl. And so Charlemagne got like a lesser charge. But even with him having that charge, Charlemagne the God has still been able to move up in the industry. And the girl and her mother are still suffering. The mother is upset because she didn't allow her daughter to take the stand. She didn't know if her daughter would have been able to handle it. But his punishment, they feel as though it was not enough. But I mean, He was charged, and then what they gave him, you have to accept it. Yeah, and I mean, here's another case. You had this guy, Charlemagne the guy, was going on people's shows talking about he give women Spanish fly. He was saying he drugged women, but yet he's moved up in Hollywood. Make that make sense. Where is Me Too for him? You know, selective outrage. Selective outrage. Nobody should be watching The Breakfast Club. Nobody. But yet, The Breakfast Club is still a popular show. Also, did everybody know, in honor of Tina Turner, Mattel has released a doll, and the doll looks just like Tina Turner. So, Chuck, you're not going to come up? So, if there's any more breaking news, because I'm up, I'll come back on and discuss some topics. Again, I think it's great. I will still continue to protest when I feel like there has been an injustice. But I also know the way politics goes. When we want people removed from office, most times everybody's hands is dirty. So the person that we want removed, whether it's the mayor, city councilman, the treasurer, anybody, most people will not vote them out because their hands are dirty and they call in favors. That's my opinion. But I'm hopeful. We got a whole new regime of young folks out there. So I hope a lot of them come and get in these offices that don't have family ties. They don't owe anybody anything. And they can be honest politicians. Chuck! I also want to thank, I had 29,000 views on my channel. I want to thank people for sticking and staying. I want to thank those that come on the panel. I did learn a lesson tonight that I do have to let my guests talk. Also, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Men and women over the age of 40, if breast cancer does not run in your family, you should get a mammogram. If breast cancer runs in your family, you should talk to your doctor and tell them it runs in your family. Therefore, you can start getting mammograms before the age of 40. Everyone have a great night. You know, those people in California, they made racist remarks. They are out there protesting in front of their homes. They are calling for them to be fired. We're going to stay on this story to see if they are fired. Thank you, Miss Ruthie. Good night. Good night, everybody. April Showers, I'm out.